Hello everybody. So it is newsletter time. I tried making the video at the beach and it was way too windy. So this is my balcony, this is my backyard. There's a swimming pool right down there. It is lovely. So this is gonna have to do it. Let's see if I can get that to stay. Perfect. So my thinking, my sharing, my blog, and my video this week are something that I heard that I'm trying to implement, which is usually what I share with you, something that I am actively working on myself, because this is a process, this life thing. None of us have it figured out. So if ever you think I'm trying to tell you that I have it figured out, that is not what I'm trying to tell you. But it was how yin multiplies our resources and how yang utilizes. So I don't want to say depletes, because we put gas in our car and we don't let our car just sit in the driveway. What would be the point of putting gas in the car? We could have just left it empty. But we need to remember to stop and fill up. And I was looking up the word yin and its description. Even though I know it, I always like to read the words, because it gives us, what is the common conception or misconception of something. And with yin, it's quiet, it's peaceful, it is stillness. And then yang is our active, our energetic, our utilizing our resources. So it's our doing. And one of the things I read that I'm going to make an argument or a debate against, we don't need to argue, but maybe we'll see if you agree with me or you agree with Google, that sometimes we can get too yin and then we get stuck or inactive or depressed. And when I stop to think on it, I don't think that's possible. Can we get depleted? Can we get to where we don't want to do anything, to where we're depressed? Absolutely. But I think, I want my phone to blow off the balcony. I think that means we are not getting enough actual yin. We tend to take breaks, meaning I'm going to take a weekend and I'm just going to stay home and watch Netflix. I'm going to scroll my phone for an hour when I get home from work. I'm going to, maybe even that yin we consider is taking that break with a friend and, letting loose. But I'm here to argue just a little bit. I think yin is supposed to be boring. I know, terrible. But actual stillness. So in many of those, yes, our body is resting. If we need recovery from the gym or recovery from our job, and our physical body is resting, you may think that your mind is resting because you're not using it actively, but your nervous system is not resting. When we are watching and consuming a lot of television, when we are consuming social media, for sure, we are still getting those spikes in cortisol and adrenaline and dopamine. Our nervous system isn't getting a recovery. And I think that is where we are struggling, is that our nervous system is like, are you ever going to sit down? You're like, but I've been sitting down. I've been sitting here for 3 hours scrolling my phone and I can't put it down. But your nervous system isn't resting. So what if you actually stopped? Like, no phone, no TV, no podcast, no radio. I know, it's asking a lot. And you might find that you get really bored in 5 minutes. And for now, we can take that as a win, because that is your nervous system on alert going, hey, are we dying? What are we doing? Why aren't we doing anything? Why am I actually getting to pause? And then slowly start expanding that. So I've been doing 16 minutes. This is not a meditation, but meditation is yin. You are allowed to meditate. You are allowed to rest. The only thing that doesn't count is sleep. Sleep is important. I'm not saying that. Don't misinterpret me. But awake rest. Eyes open rest. Awareness while resting. So your brain can actually process conversations, your day, interactions, your environment, without being interrupted by the other things around you. So that is my interpretation of yin. And I don't believe that if all of a sudden we start doing a bunch of yin yoga, we're never going to get up again, because we are humans. And if we are actually full of fuel, if we have refueled our depleted resources, we are going to want to take on the world. I think the opposite will happen. I think if we actually can take that rest, that we will find ourselves more productive. We will find happiness and joy easier. We will find interactions with people more tolerable. So again, that's my argument against the idea of yin. If you think back, and I've talked about this before, to even 80 to 100 years ago, before we had things to distract ourselves, if we go back before television, we had to be quiet. If we went back before radio, the house was quiet. I think one of the number one fears right now, when somebody says, I can't meditate because I can't just sit in the quiet room, most people would rather have an electric shock. This was an actual question. Woo, there's the wind. An electric shock to get out of a room by themselves. They're not even trying to get away from somebody else. They're trying to get out of being in a room by themselves. Why? Why? Don't be afraid to be with you. So my challenge to you this week is to actually set a timer, and then don't look at it until it goes off, even though it'll be tempting. Set it starting for 5 minutes and just be. You can do it anywhere. You can do it sitting in your car. You can do it sitting in a park. You can do it sitting in your living room. You can do it literally anywhere. And see what goes through your mind. Notice what your common distractions are. Do you feel that urge to grab for your phone? Do you grab your water bottle and take a drink? Do you start writing a to-do list in your head? Which is fine. Like, all of these things are fine. The challenge is to actually notice what those distractions are. Notice what your escape routes look like. Notice where they are, so when you're trying to escape, you can bring yourself back. So I dare you to take on my yin challenge. I know everybody's got like 75-day hards and doing so many push-ups or running so many miles. I dare you to sit still by yourself for 5 minutes and see if you can refill your resources. Multiply. When you refuel them, they multiply. And then you have that yang energy available. Then your resources are available to utilize. So again, we're not going to park the car in the driveway full of gas. What is the point? We're going to fill it up, and then we're going to run with it. And then we're going to fill it up again. So it's not a one-time deal. We have to fill it up every time it's depleted. All right, so thank you. If you made it this far, you're amazing. And if you made it this far, I would really, really like to know if you do this. And if you do this, I would like to know how you find it. All right, have a beautiful day.